Hey man, you know it's your boy Jay Skyline here with the UnFiltered, GMWorldWideRadio.com. Follow us on IG and Twitter. Look up on the Android app on Google Play. And remember, we are always working. But you know, your boy's back. First things first, because you already know we're doing the Fantasy Football League for the radio station. Joe to go, Mr. MIA. If you want part of this fantasy league, let alone anything else I'm doing, but the fantasy league, because you've been bugging me. This is what's going to be my issue. Shout out to Joe to go. And y'all haven't seen him since the rap jury. I'm going to do this league. I'm going to fill this people. In October 2nd, he's going to be like, why wasn't I in the league? And he's going to be dead ass serious. So I want all this archived that I tried. This is going to be the second time I think I've talked about this on the show. So this is the last time I'm talking about this on the show. But I just want y'all to know. Secondly, James is on his way, as usual. Man just got out of surgery, so I'm going to give him a break this week. But let's get into some of the normal news that's going around. I guess we're just going to start with the elephant in the room. Charlottesville? Which, when I first saw the news, I actually had to check myself because I thought it was Charlotte, and I was like, oh, that's a big issue. But Charlottesville, an area where there was a bunch of protests this week about taking down 3 statues, one prominent one of General Lee, and a lot of neo-Nazi protests was going on, and then about a counter-protest happened. Then I watched one of the most horrifying videos I'd ever seen. And that was a dude who decided to take his Dodge Challenger and mow it through a crowd of people. And it's one of the most graphic videos, outside of ISIS beheadings or Russian mob videos that are in the deepest edges of YouTube. That was pretty grimy. That was wild to see. And the other thing outside of the murder that was committed the other day that was wild to see is I had a conversation with somebody, and they were talking. They tried to have a conversation about the Confederate flag with me, and I was like, "That's not even the issue," because I see these pictures and all this stuff at the march. You know, as a black person, I could deal with seeing Confederate flags. I might not be comfortable with it, but it's something that's just normal to me in America. It probably shouldn't be, but it's normal America to me now. You know what shouldn't be normal in America, especially after the people that have lost their lives in World War II? Walking around with swastikas and Nazi memorabilia. That should be damn near outlawed. Compared to the Confederate flag, everybody should be mad when they see some neo-Nazi type shit. Everybody. Not just black people, not just Jewish people, everybody. But no, we out here just rocking with this. And there's people defending this, including our president, because of how he responded. I consider that damn near defending, if not blaming everybody, which I don't see how you blame everybody. So, because to me, how our president, Donald Trump, and I say our president because he's our president. Don't hit me with that childish ass, he's not our president. There's enough people that voted for him to win. He's our president. Our president decided to say something like the mom that doesn't feel like trying to blame all the kids. So he's like, oh, we just need to get along type shit. Fuck that. You need to go out here and tell these people what it is, man. They out here abusing people and killing people, innocent people. 3 innocently dead people, which I'm not saying is a good thing, but ironically, all 3 people that died were white. Think about that. I'm guessing they're happy. They're probably walking around saying, hey, we didn't get the niggas, but we got the nigga lovers. That's how they talk down there. That's how they're going to do this. So yeah, like I said, that's how I feel on this whole situation in Charleston. I'm also switched to the local news. I know I'm about to pronounce this name wrong. Malachi will hit it in the background with his voice with the real name of the street. What's the name of the street that the police was beating up the nigga earlier? Euclid. You know what? We have no clue what neighborhood in Pittsburgh that is. But I watched a video coming in here today of 2 police officers, one male, one female, apparently arresting or attempting to arrest somebody out on the street in Pittsburgh today, in front of I'm assuming his girlfriend or just the woman of the hour for him. And it looked rough. I'm not gonna lie, they had his head up on the ground. They seemed like they was giving him some elbows and stuff. It was aggressive. I would consider that not police brutality. What's the other word? Excessive force. I can't use the word police brutality unless the video is a full video and it doesn't start from the beginning. I think he was standing when I started the video, but it wasn't there was speech. That's my thing about these videos. And again, I don't want to sound like the white, the house nigga, but I need to see the whole thing. Like, I want to be on y'all side. Like, you know what video I was on the side of? The guy that got killed over in Wilkinsburg on the busway. I don't think he needed to die. I don't even think they needed to sick the dog on him. But I saw enough of that video where I was like, yeah, that was too much. Enough of, or the ones where I'm like, I can't. I want to fight with y'all and be on y'all side, but I can't fully because where's they're gonna believe the cop. I might not believe the cop. The system's gonna believe the cop. Like, I'm not even like if they tell us if there's gonna be a court date about all this stuff, I'll talk about it, but I'm not gonna talk about it like with any hope. So that's how I feel on that situation. Like I said, I feel bad for dude. Hopefully he's still alive because, like I said, I don't know what happens to dudes in holding is way worse than what we see in these videos. So that's all I can say about that. Like I said, fight the good fight. I don't know, man. I've gotten to the point where preventative. I ride around with the wallet out in the open on my lap or in the center because I don't feel like having to have you ask me to take my wallet out of my back pocket. Like, I'm on that level at this point. Like, I got places to be. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do when they tell you to get your hands behind your back because you know they're just about to grip you up and throw you on your chest. So just tread lightly. Like I said, again, I'm not guaranteeing that I'm blaming the cops for what like I said, was definitely excessive, but I'm interested to hear stories, which are just going to be stories because nobody's going to know what really happened. And I don't want to hear anything from his girlfriend because that's going to be the most hysterical, fuck the police shit we've ever seen. I need to hear the man's side of the story and the cop's side of the story, and that'd be the end of it. So we're going to hit the sports up a little bit. Again, on a positive note, like I said, I try to hit y'all with that elephant in the room stuff quickly because I ran a little bit, but I don't really feel like talking about this shit. It's not my show. But I have to get y'all that unfiltered real on how I feel about what's going on in the country. On the other note, the sports, man. The Buffalo Bills shook up the world. But when I left here Thursday, me and Bricks we were talking about basketball and baseball nicknames and what trades might happen in basketball. You know what doesn't happen? Football trades. Football trades are few and far between, at least the ones that matter. I'm not talking about draft day trades where people trade draft picks and we don't really know who just got drafted. I'm talking about like Sammy Watkins. When healthy, top 10 receiver in the NFL. Probably a Pro Bowler. I don't think he's made the Pro Bowl yet, but he's a Pro Bowl talent. Has been traded from the Buffalo Bills to the Rams for E.J. Gaines, a corner. Also, the Bills gave the Rams a 6th-round pick, and the Rams gave the Bills a 2nd-round pick also in the trade. That gives the Rams what they have not had since Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, which is a real outside threat of wide receiver. The Bills needed some extra corner help because they were trading in the process, making another trade to the Eagles. Jordan Matthews, a pseudo number one, like he's a big wide receiver that if you need him to play number one, he can do it. But like I would probably put him in like the top 25 receivers in the NFL, like not top 20, maybe top 25. Sorry for the stutter, but that all happened this weekend where the Bills traded one of their corners. I'm not going to remember the name of for him. Guess what happened in the first practice? First practice back up in Orchard Park, New York, because they don't really play in Buffalo. Jordan Matthews goes down first practice, at least out until October. Damn, don't it feel to be good to beat Buffalo. I feel so bad for Tyrod Taylor. Like, I don't feel like they're giving Tyrod Taylor no chance to be quarterback of that team. They just is like, can you just get the people in the seats for a year or two until we figure this out, and then we're going to cut you? Because that's what's about to happen to Tyrod Taylor. On the other note, the Eagles didn't have any problem getting rid of Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews was probably a waste of money for the Eagles. They have Alshon Jeffrey and a old Torrey Smith, but I still think Torrey Smith is probably better than Jordan Matthews. I have no clue about that corner they just got, but I'm assuming that I know for a fact the Eagles needed corners because every other part of their team seemed to be fine, except nobody could tell me the name of their corners when this happened. So I know they needed a corner. I just don't think the Bills corner was going to save them. And then we go to my squad, the Rams. Sammy Watkins is an injury-prone wide receiver. He's always been injury-prone. He's been in the league for 4 years. He's only had one 1,000-yard receiving season. Keeping it real. But he's a stud. And the Rams have had no wide receivers for you. Like I don't remember the last time they had a 1,000-yard receiver. I think Kenny I think did it for the first time last year. I could be wrong. But that's still like it's been over 10 years since we've had a 100 reception receiver. It's a whole bunch of problems. Like I think Jared Goff needs it. I think Todd Gurley needs it. So, and because of I like Tavon Austin, the short dude, and I actually am starting to like the guy they got from Eastern Washington, even though it was one preseason game, and I'm not getting my head blown up over one preseason game. There's hope. But my hope only goes as far as 8-8, so I ain't out here calling playoffs. So yeah. Also on the some more of our brother city of Pennsylvania news. I can't wait for James to be here. He's gonna be mad because I talked about this before he got here. But Ryan Matthews is officially no longer a Philadelphia Eagle. That also lets me know that I have no damn clue who's starting at running back for that team, because I know for sure it's not Darren Sproles. But Ryan Matthews. This is what I know about Ryan Matthews. One of the most overhyped running backs we have ever seen, ever. Like when he was with the Chargers, he's one of them dudes. When he gets on your team, they keep on starting him, and you're like, why is he starting? Because nobody can tell you why he's starting. Everybody I know that plays fantasy football has some dumbass story about how they had Ryan Matthews and it ruined their season, or at least ruined a couple games for them. And it sucks because going on the fantasy tangent, in fantasy football, if you don't play fantasy football, you get like a set of, you get to start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex that could be running back, wide receiver, and in some leagues a tight end. There's 32 teams, and each team usually runs one running back more than the other, and then maybe a second one a little bit. Say you have a 12-team league. That means that 24 running backs have to be starting on somebody's roster. Plus, if they need to use flexes. There's not enough running backs to be out here picking and choosing if you have a running back that's on a starting team. Ryan Matthews fucks that up for a lot of people. It's just the easiest way to put that for you. There's not enough running backs, and if Ryan Matthews is out here starting on somebody's team, he just fucked up your game. So I know a lot of happy fantasy football fans out here that aren't going to be dealing with no more Ryan Matthews. But again, like I said, it's all what happens in the NFL. Things like this happen all the time. Also, shout out. We'll be talking about this a lot more probably tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be our sports show, because we're only doing 2 shows this week. Just had to let that out there right now. But my big Marshawn Lynch sat down for the national anthem today. Said he'd been doing it for years. I'm going to try to look up some old video, but I believe it. I found out something today. Colin Kaepernick's not coming back to the NFL, and it's not because he didn't stand for the national anthem. Y'all want to know what it's about? It's because he explained to you why he didn't stand for the national anthem. Marshawn Lynch ain't going to tell you why he ain't said it. All he said was he's been doing this the entire time. He didn't tell you why. He didn't tell you if it was for a cause. Nothing. I bet in less than a week, none of us give a damn that Marshawn Lynch was out here not standing for the national anthem. And it's probably going to continue not to stand for the national anthem because Marshawn Lynch don't talk. I'm not blaming Marshawn Lynch for that, because that's been a steez the entire time. He hasn't talked his entire career. He got in trouble for not talking. So that's not Marshawn Lynch's fault. But I know for a fact that the Raiders aren't going to cut Marshawn Lynch. Also, shout out to Michael Bennett from the Seahawks. He sat down too. But he's probably going to tell you, but nobody gives a damn because everybody on the Seahawks tells you what they feel. So, but that's my synopsis on the Colin Kaepernick front. It's not the fact that Colin Kaepernick didn't stand for the national anthem. It's the fact that he explained to you why, and then you didn't like the choice of why he did it. It's not a good enough reason to some people. But if you have no reason at all, they're not going to really fight with you about it. It's like the old, when you're talking to your parents and it's like, oh yeah, why'd you do that? And you give them some BS excuse, you get your ass beat. If you don't have much of an excuse, you still get your ass beat, but because they don't have the added oomph of, well, I think that's bullshit on top of what you didn't tell me, you probably get like a less of an ass beating. And that's what's about to happen to these players that are sitting down now, who aren't really going to explain to you to the depth of what Kaepernick, because Kaepernick came out here and was talking, explaining. He was out here giving you numbers. And on top of that, the Baltimore Ravens just signed Thaddeus Lewis as their backup quarterback. If anybody remembers the last time Thaddeus Lewis plays, before I say it, hit me up and we'll get you in this fantasy football league. And if you couldn't, don't lie. Thaddeus Lewis hasn't played in 4 years. He wasn't even starting when he left the NFL. He was a backup on the Seahawks and I think the Vikings. Thaddeus Lewis is like, holy shit. Do you understand that, like, how blatant it has to be to go sign somebody who hasn't played football and, well, hasn't played football in 3 years, hasn't even played in a game in about 4.5 years. But you know what? We'll get him. And it's a black dude. You know what killed me about that is it's a black dude. So now they're trying to take the color part out of it. Because I'm like, there got to be white dudes out there that's better than Thaddeus Lewis. He hadn't played in 4 years. Like, there got to be plenty of quarterbacks better than Thaddeus Lewis. Let's not even talk about Colin Kaepernick for a second. Let's talk about other quarterbacks that were legitimately in the league right now who are not have jobs. But they gave it to Thaddeus Lewis, and I'm full-blown in the idea of, like, shit, Michael Vick might even be a better option than Thaddeus Lewis. And the last time I saw Michael Vick, I didn't think he should have been on the field at all. Like, goddamn. And again, I'm not a big, like, because my thing is, and that's why I kind of actually gained a respect for the Ravens and then lost it all in less than a week. Because the Ravens owner came out and said the truth. I got to go talk to my fans and my sponsors before I make a decision on signing Kaepernick. Which is the fucking truth. No matter how we feel about the situation, money matters more than Colin Kaepernick to these people. Money matters more to me than Colin Kaepernick to these people. Like, swear to, like, it's not even like it's a sellout point. I'm not going to mortgage my life because of his cause, even though the cause affects me and I'm rocking with the cause. But if I was one of these white NFL owners that is going to be rich tomorrow, no matter what, unless I have a personal reason to change, they're going to go back up to Newport Beach, Rhode Island, or whatever that place is, get their cigars and shit, and do the same shit they were doing before. There's no reason for them to risk their money and their income for you. Even though I think there has to be that Mark Cuban or Al Davis out there that figures out that if they do give in, that it's probably going to be better for their portfolio than negative. It's just that none of the owners can think it like that yet, which is fine. But don't hit me with the BS that he's not good enough. Because y'all just drafted Thaddeus Lewis. Just tell us the truth. Like, yo, I don't want to lose money. Or in my mind, I think I'm going to lose money. Because that's all I think. I think that owners in their minds physically think, we signed Colin Kaepernick, I'm going to lose a bunch of money. Or even the most racist aspect is I'm going to lose guaranteed money. Because I've been watching that the NFL Network show where they follow the season ticket holders of the Bears from last year. And you would think that Chicago would have like that oomph of maybe season ticket holders that are black. It isn't. And I'm noticing that black people aren't season ticket holders. It's like 2 in 10 or 3 in 10. It's not a great percentage of amount of season ticket holders. Like, I would assume that Washington might have a higher percentage because it's Washington, D.C. But outside of that, like every other, like even New York and L.A., I can imagine that the season ticket holders are more Caucasian. And that matters too, because guess what? Season ticket holders, like if I go to a game this year for either Pitt or Steelers, I'm going to one game, I'm giving y'all one price and ticket. That's all y'all getting out of me this year. They want that season ticket money every year. That's like guaranteed in their minds. It's like tax returns. It's like, oh, we getting that season ticket money coming up? Yeah, next week. It's like a second tax return to these old people. So again, y'all just like, I understand the Kaepernick situation. I'm mad about the Kaepernick situation, but I'm also a realistic person. And I can't tell other people how to spend their money. I also can't because that's you can't tell other people how to spend their money. You also can't tell other people that they won't lose their money. And that's really the big issue is they think they're going to lose money. So, but they all end up looking like Donald Sterling in the end, which I don't think anybody notices that. Like we're only like 3 years away from Donald Sterling walking around and telling people not to have niggas at the game. Now we got owners telling niggas to get back in line. So, but that was the opening of the show. Again, this is Jay Skyline, Unfiltered. We're going to be up here with these reviews of the Booty Tape, Ugly God, Guala Guala, Good and the Bad Mixtape, and Damien Marley Jr., the youngest of Bob Marley's children, Stoney Hill, coming up next. Tune back in a few minutes. Thank you.